absolutely that. You. What's good, Bolt fam? Welcome to Bolt Blitz Uncut. We got started a little bit late tonight. You know why it is. It's just because I got to feel just right to get this thing rolling. Your Los Angeles Chargers are coming off of 2 consecutive losses. And listen, we owed you guys a post-game show, and I didn't give that to y'all because literally I had nothing nice to say. And I don't normally say too much about my relationship, but Miss Booga said, listen, you have nothing nice to say. Don't you dare hop on the air. Why don't you come upstairs and I'll say some nice shit to you for a minute. We're an open book here on Bolt Blitz Uncut, so I went upstairs and had some nice things said to me for a minute or two. Listen, I'm Booga Peters. I'm your host, and I'm joined by co-host tonight, Buck D. Robert Gibson. Man, here we are again. It's an NFC East game against a team that, you know, they're missing a scary Terry McLaurin. Not so scary when he's not in the lineup. No Noah Brown. They were missing other weapons too. They have struggles in trying to keep their offensive line healthy, and yet here we are talking about another Chargers loss. Not what you expected, but kind of your just real quick thoughts on the game, and we'll kind of break it down as we get the show rolling.
So frustrating. Look, the whole thing about the NFL is this. We can whine and we can cry about injuries. It's always the next man up. Hopefully your coaching staff can put you in better positions and, you know, rein things in. I don't know what the hell happened with about 2 minutes to go until the half. We just collapsed. We didn't play any type of football that we've seen in the first 3 weeks of the season at all from anybody. It was heartbreaking, and to just watch that game just hurt, man. That I feel like all of our offensive linemen, I'm hurt. I'm on injured reserve from watching this team right now.
You're right alongside them. Here's the deal, man. It's easy to say for the people who haven't been paying attention long enough, the last 2 seasons specifically, even during the Harbaugh regime, boy, they had these bookend tackles, that Rashawn Slater, that Joe Alt. Let's go. We're all excited. And then we brought in Mekhi Becton. And if anybody who's paid attention out of 13 people who've listened to this show ever, you know, Becton, as much as we love the signing, he was playing next to a bunch of all-world, literally, offensive linemen in Philadelphia. It was a year that he happened to be healthy. He comes off of some seasons from the Jets where he was not healthy, and he did have some issues. And what do you know? Here on Bolt Blitz Uncut, myself and, of course, A.D. Simons, our other co-host, who is just not able to be with us right now, but we do want to give him a shout-out and a congratulations for being in his new home. And his wife and his family, they just upgraded, and we're always about anybody that we love and know upgrading. We're about that for anybody. But back to the Chargers. Penalties. No one can block. 10 is running for his life. 10's got Madison Beers as a girlfriend, and we're all excited. And oh, look who just popped in for just a second in the comments. Co-host 80 Simons. 80, I'm going to put you on the spot and see how well you can hear me from across the pond. You look at the fuckery that is the Bolts right now. You've had as much time as you're literally afforded, considering your situation with the new home and the move. But what are you most concerned about, considering this was not a game that they were supposed to lose? Buck D, same question to you. This was not a game that they were, quote unquote, supposed to lose. But here we are again. Chargers dropped to a team that, well, a lot of people should have understood in advance, despite the offensive line. Roman, Jesse Minter should have had something schemed up.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. It wasn't even about the Chargers, you know, not supposed to lose to Washington. I wanted to see how our players would react to losing to the Giants. I thought everyone's going to come in pissed off, upset. We're at home. It's on a platter. We started out a certain way. And then after that, everything went south. And I still had hope. I still had hope after halftime. Okay, had a couple of bad things happen to us. The punt got called back. They go down, long pass. They go down and score before the half. And I was still optimistic. I was like, all right, this is what we see. This is when we see what our team's made of. And I don't like what I see. And I'm not talking about, I can't talk about the injuries. I'm talking about who we do have out there. It does not look good. These guys have no fight in them. There's no pride. You're looking around. Who's the leader? That's the type of things that I was looking at throughout the second half. Didn't find anybody.
Man, you went super deep there.
Yes.
What we're going to do too tonight is we're going to include the comment section a little bit more than we normally would, because gosh darn it, these folks are taking time out of their day and evening to spend time with us. Jessica Thompson,
yeah,
really excited to have you here. We appreciate everything that you do for the Bolt fam. I don't know exactly what the streak is, but home or away, she's been to 55, I believe, plus Chargers games. She goes to them all, including Sao Paulo. I mean, she is literally the Charger chick. If you guys are bored or you really want to find a good follow who's just there and is a part of the ambiance, which is every Charger game, follow her on Twitter, or X as some of y'all call it. I can't do it. But she's at Charger Chick 55. She picked that out today. She just started, so let's get her boosted up a little bit. But what Jessica has to say is this. It seemed like our first couple of games we were playing solid, smart football, but the last couple of games we seemed so undisciplined. And I did not expect that from a Harbaugh coach team. Buck, I'm going to send this right over to you. The penalties, the lack of discipline. It's not supposed to be that way. This isn't what we would have expected from this team, but now that it's there, I feel like Harbaugh, when we're watching these post-game press conferences, is just kind of like not necessarily avoiding it, but he's really not giving it the due respect it is in the fact that it's really bad. You know, he's talking about self-inflicted wounds and he's talking about this and that, but the penalties, I mean, it's getting out of hand. And we'll get to the pressures on Herbert, but just talk about the penalties.
Well, yeah, the penalties, it's not even just the penalties, it's when the penalties happen.
Sure.
During those crucial times, and they're big-time penalties. You know, we saw the 2nd and 18, and then the 3rd and 22. We convert them, line holding, we're not lined up correctly. But I gotta say this though, it goes back to what I was saying. Okay, we can say Harbaugh. I know, and I gotta say this about myself because I said it last week. I was like, we're gonna see what Harbaugh is about. But I had to think about it earlier today. If you look at every team that Harbaugh's coached, he's made sure the leaders of that team really stood out. And they were the ones who were vocal. Think about every Harbaugh team besides Michigan. I'm talking about San Francisco,
Niners, USD. No, I can roll with you. Same thing with Stanford too. Anthony McGuire.
I'm sitting there saying
McGuire. Not fucking. What the fuck was Toby Gerhart? Jesus Christ, not Spider-Man.
Well, see, and I say forget Michigan. Not even forget Michigan because they had leaders too.
Correct.
Where are our leaders? Where are our guys to extend what Harbaugh is from the sideline between those lines on the field?
They're on injured reserve, or they're trying their best to just stay healthy.
Playing the part of Justin Smith was Khalil Mack. Playing the part of, your Frank Gore is coming back from the optometrist. You have all these different issues taking
out for the year, mind you. We all know Najee's done.
Right, well, exactly.
I got a hot take. Folks ain't gonna like this. Folks ain't gonna like it. Ken's got to step the hell up, man. Ken's got to be the leader. Ken, we're out of that grace period where he's looked at as a rookie or he's looked at as the young guy. If we want to move forward, the guy on not only just the offensive side of the ball, defensive side, he's got to be the one who's like, hey, if I'm looked at as the man here, I got to start leading as the man as well. It's okay. Get on somebody's ass. We haven't even heard Derwin's name in the last 2 weeks. See what I mean? Like, somebody's got to extend what Harbaugh is behind closed doors, because he's not going to give us anything publicly. He's not going to do that. But if you look out on the field when things happen, who's the guy? We don't okay, yeah, we may say that these guys are hurt, but it can't be just one or two guys. It's got to be more. But I think the number one dude has to be our quarterback.
Well, and here's the deal. So for me, I have this weird thing because I spent almost 2 full decades defending Phillip Rivers in a porous offensive line. That does not include 2006, 2007. I'm not that naive. I know a little bit more than some of you young folks out there who happen to be listening right now when it comes to those years. I just mean, you're seeing it everywhere, all over social media. The Chargers just happen to be this weird quarterback killer. Boy, they got some guys who can put up some numbers. That Dan Fouts guy, I loved it. Everybody gives him all the praise in the world. San Diego Charger fans, specifically San Diego Charger fans, they adore Dan Fouts. It's weird to me that they ignore the interception numbers. And because I want them to tune in, I'm not going to tell them what my dad used to tell me about Dan Fouts all the time. My dad used to run into Dan every now and then at, I don't know, the dog track and a couple of, maybe the horse track. And y'all know where I'm talking about if you're from San Diego. So Dan just liked to make a little bit of money. Maybe it had nothing to do with his games. I'm just saying. But the Chargers have had a litany of great quarterbacks for the entirety of the franchise, minus some. We're not talking about Eric Kramer, Bob Gagliano. We're not talking about Mark Vlasic. We're not talking about those kind of guys. We're talking about Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers. I mean, and now who do we have? Oh, I don't know. Justin Herbert's pretty fucking good at this shit. But the Chargers have this weird stigma, and it kind of couples into the chargering thing, where they just have a way of being quarterback killers. Buck, when you hear this shit, and I know you've seen it online, whether it's Facebook, the Old People app, where you and I happen to have met each other, or the Bird app that we still refuse to call X because fuck that dumb shit. I mean, how much do you buy into the stuff, and how concerned are you? And are the Chargers quarterback killers?
No, well, it's not that quarterback killers. I think we have had teams, if we're going to talk historically, who have leaned on those great quarterbacks who we have the abilities and who could throw any pass too much. We've seen it. And I say we, yes, I'm one of those fans. The issue is not the quarterbacks. It is we put soft-ass teams on the field, and I think that's what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks. You've had, go back to the Giants. You saw not only Darby, you saw people like Scatterboo and their defensive line. Then you look at Washington, you look at Debo. They got dogs, man. Like, that's the thing that we're missing, that physicality, which you thought we would have with Harbaugh, but it's just not. It's not clicking. And I know we have injuries, but it's got to be from the top to the bottom, man.
So it's the NFL. All these teams have injuries, and I'm going to backtrack for a quick second and just talk about the Giants game. Did the Chargers overlook the Giants? And is there any type of carryover from them overlooking the Giants that maybe brought some of those were 3-0, 0-3 in the division cats within the team and in social media down to earth saying, wait a second, what's going on?
It might have been a little bit of that, but I really think it's the physicality part. We've seen it. We've been on the one in fucking shotgun. We're throwing the ball. We're throwing the ball. We're running the same. So the touchdown that McConkey caught, they tried to run that same fucking play to Keenan, which they had ran twice on that same drive. This isn't Madden. Well, it might be. Well, I ain't going to say it's not Madden, because if I run the same play on Madden, the other person's going to figure it out, and they're going to play defense against it. And it's like, if you have a team who can get in the trenches, has that toughness, you hand the fucking ball off. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's easy to say that now, but let's be real. It happens more often than not. And I wish our team would just have more toughness, more of that grit and grime, because we're looked at as a finesse team. We have the glitz, the pretty jerseys, and all this shit. We got to get dirty. We got to muck it up. We don't do that.
Well, first of all, Buck, give yourself a little bit more credit. It's not like you're Oregon University, okay? Let's take it easy there. You're more than pretty jersey.
Well, hold on. That's how we've been. That's how our team is presented, though. Hell, we didn't run Hampton the first.
Man, he was in the offseason saying, "Don't let the powder blues fool you." Man, why'd you say that shit out loud?
But it's not like we ran Hampton much at the beginning of the damn year.
Man. So listen, hold on. So since we're on the Hampton subject, it's literally the next topic. And I want to move on because I feel like I'm picking too much. The Giants game, beyond embarrassing. I literally have the Washington game on in the background. It's one of the I haven't been that angry while watching a Charger game in a very long time. Literally, my girlfriend, whom I've been with, Miss Booga, she literally had to say to me, "I've never seen you this mad or mad. I'm going to go upstairs."
Yeah.
And that's when she said, "You can either join me upstairs or you can go say a lot of horrible shit on your show." And that's when she also reminded me, like, if you don't want to do the show, just don't fucking do it. Listen, I'll tell you about the Washington game. Here's the things that frustrated me the most. And it's a weird kind of order, so bear with me, but I'll bullet point them and we'll get through it quick. The QJ thing, man, the guy just keeps showing up, and then he fumbles, and everybody's ready to shit on him again. It was a helmet to helmet. And then when I tell you it's crystal clear, there are very few humans on this earth that when you slam a protected head, regardless of of height, weight, size, into somebody else's head, you can have 5 hands, 8 hands on the ball like a goddamn octopus. It's probably coming out. There was no review. There was no talk. I don't believe it was even brought up on the broadcast. I turned off the broadcast because I got angry. That's one of the things that made me the most upset. Watching Austin Deculus out there.
Oh, my goodness.
They gave up a pick for that cat. Every play that I watch Zion Johnson play left guard and Bradley Bozeman play center, it infuriates me.
Yes.
Listen, man. So the Bolt Blitz group chat, we're a very tight group, and we do our best to filter in our buddies and this and that. But when the shit gets heavy or shit just is not understood by some of those folks, it doesn't matter if they're our friends. We're trying to produce good content for the show. We eliminate them from the group. So what I would like to see the Chargers do is find a way to eliminate players like Bozeman and Zion from the starting lineup. The problem is while I'm writing songs, literally writing songs about the Chargers to trade down so they have an opportunity to pick up Jackson Powers Johnson. I know they took Ladd McConkey. The Chargers have refused to truly address the interior offensive line. Buck.
Yes.
Man, I don't care if you've been watching football for 2 years, 5 years, 50. Quarterbacks do not like dealing with pressure in the interior. When it's in your face, no matter who you are, it's the most difficult time to deal with it. Mike Tyson has a quote about it. What the hell were they thinking keeping Bozeman and Zion?
Oh my gosh. Look, man, I got to go back to your boy because I don't call him Deculus. I call him ridiculous. That dude, I thought something, these last 2 weeks, I thought something was wrong with my TV. I was like, how is everybody either sitting still or going forward? And this dude's going in reverse every single play. Now, back to Bozeman. Bozeman pisses me off because Bozeman, am I tripping? Doesn't he have a C on his, he has a C on his jersey.
Capital C.
He's a fucking captain. And he's the worst at his position out of the whole damn NFL. Like, who's going to listen to somebody who they can
oh my God,
rankings and like, you're at the bottom. How the fuck am I going to listen to you? You suck. Like, look, man, all of that professionalism, all that's out of the window with me because it's like it's so frustrating. I saw someone in the chat say it was frustrating as hell watching these games, and it's getting worse and worse. And the only thing I can say positive, well, there's only one thing that's positive. You know, Kansas City lost, and we still are in first place. It's not like we can't turn this around. It's not, we don't have to do a huge turnaround. We just turn it around a little bit, we'll be okay. But the ship is sinking fast. And the thing that scares the hell out of me, and it almost happened this week, Tim's gonna get hurt, man. When he got hit, when he tried to throw that ball and he was already down, I was like, that's it. That's exactly what I was talking about. And you saw whose man that was, who came in, tore him up. You saw who it was. And it's like, he's going to get killed. He's going to get hurt. And that's when no hope.
Okay, so I've been doing the coverage of the Chargers, like at least out there in the open for what's about 15, 16 years now. And I've never been a guy to go after a player, maybe a couple of them every now and then, just because they might have said something I didn't appreciate specifically about me, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm just going to say this about the whole Bradley Bozeman thing.
Oh.
Everybody seemed to know, except Joe Ortiz, who has literally already had this guy, that he just wasn't the answer. And then, respectfully, he's a team leader.
Yes.
Great in the locker room. So they bring him back. That extension, March 25th, 2024. I have the worst fucking memory ever. Too much of this and a little too much of this. Or a whole lot. I remember that shit because I could not justify it in my mind.
Yes.
Listen, man, when I try, my kids are both of my kids, both my daughter and my son. Daughter 16, son 14. They're both literally trying to get more into the NFL and really understand stuff. And the Chargers, and like, I can't really explain the offensive line. Couldn't explain Zion and Bradley Bozeman coming back. We're watching what Bozeman has done. Let me tell you about a particular play, and I think we talked about this pre-show, and I hope I'm not surprising you. But there was a play that you can hear on the broadcast that's been shared over and over and over again of Bradley Bozeman at the last second trying to switch the protection.
Yes.
To shed laugh. And you literally, right before he snaps the ball, hear Herbert go, no!
Yes.
And then the ball snapped, and then Herbert's literally getting his lunch money stolen again.
Yes.
I mean, here's the deal. We saw the press conference, and this is where I'm going to wrap up the Bozeman thing, or at least we're going to put a bow on it for the time being. We've all seen the press conference, and Daniel Popper of The Athletic appreciates you, brother. You went at him, and I don't mean that you were pressing him. You were holding him accountable for saying this is what you should expect, and then when that's not what was being delivered, you held him accountable for the fact that, well, it's still the same guy being in there. Here we are. Bradley Bozeman is the starting center until, I guess, both of his legs fall off.
Oh, my God.
Andre James was brought in for a reason. The fans are clamoring for him. I posed this question to you like I have my kids, only I did it in a threatening way. And I will do it to all my friends and family like I have for the last few weeks. Have you ever been 46th out of 46 in anything? Anything. And if you can come up with something funny, you're a comedian. But I'm just saying. I mean, how are you?
If I was 46 out of 46 in anything, I would do it 10 more times and throw all 56 in the trash, bro. Like, that's horrible. That's fucking horrible. And then on top of that, you got a C on your jersey. Look, man, I don't know. Look, I play sports and all that. There's got to be a level of this dude. I don't give a damn what you are in the locker room. What are you on the field? What can you show me that you are a leader on the field? And I don't get the marriage to this dude. We've seen it. We've seen it so many times. The pressure's coming right up the damn middle. And it's like they love it. They're feasting on him, man. It's horrible.
So, I mean, could you imagine, being Steve Spagnuolo in the offseason, seeing that the Chargers are like, ooh, we're going to experiment with Zion at center, and then, hey, we're going to try Bozeman at left guard. Again, we love the bookend tackles that, by the way, one, we're not going to see for the rest of the year for sure. Alt, hopefully, will be back sooner. Let's also point out on the show, because I don't think that we have up to this point, Alt not being placed on IR is a huge sign for the fact that he'll be back sooner rather than later.
Right.
For those of you who have been paying attention, the offensive line is a completely different story while he's here, because when you literally can lock down at least one of these guys, no matter where they're coming from. By the way, these teams aren't blitzing an incredible amount, too much. That being said, the amount of pressure being put on Herbert, 2.1 seconds.
Jeez, that's
first
crazy.
throw against Washington. I can't do anything I can't even think of my name in 2.16 seconds.
That's
Buck,
wild.
you look at this offensive line. Nobody's trading offensive linemen. There aren't any free agents available worth a damn. They brought in somebody that we're going to talk about to add to the pass rush. But what do you do at this point? Or do they just have to really eat shit and say we should have done more and we didn't?
Well, we have to make it to that first little finish line of where we're going to get Alt back and we get Mac back and things like that. It's got to be a Scotch tape job, and that goes hand in hand with the play calling. We got to stick with a certain type of play calling. I love that first half. I love what we were doing, getting the ball out quick, swing passes. We saw screens, what we were asking for. They changed up the play calling, but then it was like
Buck, hold on. Let me interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
Everyone in their dog, in their cat, in their peacock, in their cockatoo, and their favorite rutabaga in the vegetable crisper was calling for the Chargers to throw slants and quick hitters. And they did actually use the screen game finally. With Omari and Hampton. But motherfucker, I don't know. Maybe the Commanders knew that might finally happen. And they were there for all of it. They shut down the quick game because they knew that the Chargers offense, there's absolutely zero chance of them having any confidence in that offensive line.
Yeah.
This is the bed that the Chargers have to lay in because Harbaugh, Ortiz, they chose this. They decided to run it back with Zion. They decided to run it back with Bozeman. Becton, listen, I was super excited about the signing. Everybody saw it in the chat, and everybody saw it on my socials. That being said, I tried to temper everybody's expectations. That's a giant man who's not getting any younger, and he's already had injury issues. Yes, he played phenomenally on the Eagles' offensive line, but we've got about 10 guys who can do that.
Well, but here's the thing. It goes back to what you said earlier. Nobody looked at Becton as an equal to Slater or Alt. But when you put him there with those guys, he looks phenomenal. Now he's being exposed because they're not there anymore. Because now it's like you're taking a stick and you're like, do something. You're getting hurt every damn game. So we have to do whatever patchwork we can get and take it week by week. The good thing, like I said, is Kansas City's losing. The bad thing is Denver's getting hot.
Again, but we expected that, I think. You and I think we've talked both pre-showing on a couple previous shows about the fact that Denver can actually get it done. They're coming off a victory over, the defending Super Bowl champions, the Eagles. Kyle.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit about getting worried about the Broncos here, okay? They still haven't showed any real offense to speak of, and as somebody who actually watched the officials try to help the Chiefs and somehow fail, thanks to one of the most amazing and fluky things I've ever seen covering the Jacksonville Jaguars on the Duval Dive, I will say the Broncos got their own share of help. Let's not act like there wasn't a little, shall we say, controversy. And at the end of the day, all of these games, I'll get it to you, Buck. Let me land it here. All of these games that we're talking about, be it the Eagles, be it the past 2 losses for the Chargers, are all NFC. So that's the air quotes good news in all of that part. I just wanted to get that in there real quick. So anyways, go ahead.
I agree. And I feel like My optimism is this. If we can get to 2-2 in the next 4 weeks, we're okay. We're okay. And that's not something we can't do because we still have 10. We still got our receivers. As long as we have 10, we have a chance. But with this raggedy ass O-line, it's like, how long will we have 10? That's the scary part.
So there are a lot of scary things going on, but it really is, for me, the number one priority, which is we've tried to make that our focus for the last 2 years on anything blitz related, and that would be the priority should always be providing not only Herbert with the weapons, but you have to have the horses up front. Again, we're not excusing the fact that we're passing off. They didn't plan on losing their tackles, but you did plan on Zion, Bozeman coming back, and those are your guys. And then again, a guy who has an injury history in Becton. We're hoping the best for him. And let me tell you, Buck kind of nailed it when he was talking about how Becton, and this is for any player probably, but especially Becton, he plays so much better next to an alt. He clearly, I don't know if it's a confidence thing or maybe it literally is just when that guy's doing whatever he's supposed to do every time, I can handle my shit. I don't know if that's what the case is. I look forward to seeing what Zion does, or excuse me, no, I don't ever look forward to that. Mekhi does. Golly, I definitely don't ever look forward to that. When you talk about the defense, man, so here's my thing, Buck. It's a little too familiar. It feels a little Staley-esque, and what I mean by that is guys out of position. Troy Dye, I mean, he's helping in man coverage while leaving a running back open on a wheel that's literally ends up in a 20-plus, an explosive play, as we would call it. He's not usually that far out of position. It felt like so many things defensively that could go wrong, went wrong, our now departed Charger, Lohi Gilman. When you look at this Minter defense, how concerned are you about it moving forward, and what needs to change for it to start to get better?
Actually, you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay because the game really didn't get out of hand until late. And by then, you got to say those guys were on the field forever, it seemed like. I'm not too concerned about the defense because I have the utmost confidence in our defensive coordinator. He's special. I really like the guy, and I like what he's doing with our fellas. The problem, well, I'll say, now I won't even go to the problems. I love that Gilman's gone. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Perfect segue. Keep rolling. Roll.
Because he was so hot and cold. It was hit or miss, and now he's gonna go to the Ravens, and they're gonna see, oh shit, we got this guy, especially with their safety out. But our defense is okay. I think our defense will be okay. We just got to get Henley back on track. If we can get the Henley that we saw at the beginning of the year flying around, I don't know if he's hurt, if that illness is still there a little bit. If we can get the Henley who we had at the beginning of the year, we're definitely okay.
So here's the deal. The Henley, and I'm really glad you brought him up. You're really good at this shit. The Henley stuff, here's the problem. He lost what I'm told is in what's being reported is a significant amount of weight. I know that seems goofy to people, and it's like, oh, it's 13 pounds. And no, listen, I mean, you're faster than you've been for however long you've been training within the defense and the structure of it since however you were at the prior weight. It's hard to gain weight, especially when you're an NFL player in season, when you're not an offensive lineman. You're not afforded the same meal options as a lot of other guys, depending on your metabolism. He's in a really rough shape. A lot of the players on this team, regardless of position, are in rough shape. But Buck, you mentioned it earlier, all these teams, everybody's dealing with injuries. Ben Herbert, they brought him in, strength and conditioning coordinator extraordinaire. Everybody was all excited, and that's the man. Sure, feels like guys are dropping at an alarming rate. When you look at the addition to the team when it comes to Ben Herbert, Is it time to start bringing him up as somebody, and then we'll get into the Gilman for Adafi Owe trade?
Yeah, you always have to look at it, especially at the rate that we got people dropping, bro. We have to. Like, you can't just ignore that. It's not coincidence or just bad luck. Because you have to look and see what we have at that, at that position, and what is he doing, what is he not doing. Or, I've heard the talk of, hey, maybe we need to put some real grass in the stadium. Like, it's so many things.
That's all. Hold on. I'll interject for just a second.
Yeah.
Every stadium needs to have real grass. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. What's funny to me is literally when there are soccer games, like major soccer matches, excuse me, sorry, I'm sure that's what they're called, I think, that are played in football stadiums in the United States, they literally sometimes bring in their own grass to these stadiums. And the NFL's like, nah, B, we good. We're not doing that shit. Why would we? Why could we? We shouldn't, because if we invest too much in these guys, they last too long. Don't let these players last too long on these giant contracts. These contracts just get bigger, but that's a conversation for another day. You guys are listening to Bolt Blitz Uncut on YouTube. Want to give a shout out to our gal, Jessica Thompson, for being there in the comment section. She keeps firing shit off, and I just want to say something. She's right. They do need to just figure out a way to get through these injuries. It's every team is doing it. Buck mentioned it early. We talked about it a little bit. It comes down to, have you actually prepared yourself? Now, that being said, I did feel that Joe Ortiz found a way to provide more depth. That being said, the starters, especially along the interior line, not a lot of confidence there. Love that Caleb Murphy made the 53, but was he the guy that was that additional edge threat when it comes to the fact that you have Dud, and I think that was yours, it was somebody, not mine, Dud Dupree, rushing the opposite side, who he's known for being a run stopper. He struggled with that. He's definitely not getting to the quarterback at an effective rate. It feels like the spotlight and the hot seat has nothing to do with Harbaugh. Maybe it actually has to do with Joe Ortiz. Is Joe Ortiz, does he deserve more attention when it comes to maybe Greg Roman's not the problem with the offense, and maybe Jesse Minter's defense, despite the fact that he does ask a lot of his players? Maybe it's just that Joe Ortiz isn't capable of putting the right guys in place to do so, despite the fact that we all love some of those flashy picks.
Yeah, we have to look at that, because now we're seeing what can you do when your guys aren't in there. And we haven't seen anything, especially, the front guys, the first guys. And it goes into scheming. It goes into what are you drawing up? And have
you seen any quality play from Branson Taylor in a regular season game? Oh, no, you didn't, because he was how they addressed the interior offensive line. Missouri, I believe he was a tackle. I can't recall off the top of my dome if he was a left tackle or a right tackle. But listen, man, I joked earlier during pre-show about, and it's not a joke, I literally wrote a song ripping off the Dan Band about trade it down, like every now and then, like trade it the fuck down, because I wanted them to draft Jackson Powers Johnson, because then they'd have a fucking center. We pluralized Spanos to Spani. It was a cool fucking song. They didn't care.
The thing that's so frustrating is that we saw that 3-0, and we're like, we're on our way. But I'll give you light at the tunnel.
You didn't fall for it. Bullshit.
I did. I fell for it. Especially with that Kansas City win. I was like, finally. And so the light at the tunnel is, it's like, I don't want to look at past this week, but it's hard not to when you have all that cap space. It's like, what are we going to do? No matter what we do the rest of this season, what's going to happen with all this cap space? So that's the light at the end of the tunnel that I have. What I want to ask you a question. You always asking me the questions. What do you think about the 3 pickups that we had today? The ones that I know of. We brought back Rager, which I have no clue for why. We have Hines, on the backfield, because we have our back. We ain't even talked about the raggedy ass running backs that we have. And then we brought 99 over from the Ravens. How do you feel about those?
Listen, I love you setting me up because I'm a little better as a guest than I am a host, but I ain't trying to tell nobody that. But listen, the Adafi Owe trade, I will tell you this right now. He's a player that I loved coming out of the draft. He's a player that I really was keeping an eye on. And the fact that he was a Raven and he's a Charger, it makes it a little sick because I'm so tired of that pipeline. That being said, he's a legitimate young force as a pass rusher. He's only 26 years old. He's a guy that I'll tell you right now, if you don't know enough about him, Charger fans, don't do the YouTube thing. Find somebody that you trust, find somebody that you know, and ask their opinions on what he does in both the pass rush game and the run game. He's a little bit more of a pass rusher. Nyheim Hines-Allen, listen, I'll tell you right now, I talked about how, I watch, obviously, Chargers games with Miss Booga, and she got to see the Nyheim Hines-Allen kickoff return.
Yeah.
Right after the stuff with DeMar Hamlin and them doing that in the playoff game. I'll tell you right now, I wasn't really sold on him being a Charger, but I was excited just because it doesn't matter how far or how short I come of being whatever it is that I want to be in this sector or this business moving forward. I've already been to wherever it is that I want to be. When that moment happened and watching that, especially as a fan, that's one of those highs you really don't replicate. And just like Josh Allen said in the post game, like, I mean, where's the movie?
Yeah.
Where's the director? Like, how the fuck do we write this up? I'm excited to see how he can contribute. I don't know how much you should expect from him in between the tackles. It's not his forte.
Yeah.
That being said, they're going to be trying to throw the ball at all times in a hurry now. We saw a little bit about that against the Commanders. Who did I leave out? Obviously, I believe I think I got
Rager.
Jalen Rager. So they're probably trying to relieve Ladd from having to return punts. He's a fucking return guy. Man, y'all saw the shit against the Cardinals where he caught the deep ball and then left it on the carpet and it broke everybody's hearts. He's a former first rounder that for whatever reason, and I don't get it, it's got to be Sanjay Lal, the Chargers wide receivers coach. But God, honestly, I'm sad that I asked you who I left out because now we're talking about Rager. Your thoughts on the Rager edition?
No, my thoughts are you don't want to know. Why? I've been off this guy for the longest. Look, I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't see
always.
I don't see the value. I don't see it. Maybe I can be proved wrong. Maybe they, that's why they're professionals. They know more than me. But especially with what we're missing, it's like, why him? It's not a priority. It wasn't a priority.
Yet here we are, and I'm arguing with folks about Tyler Conklin and why he was a horrible addition, and then we just see him fuck off and decide to dry his hands on a towel while the ball's in the air. I mean, just the Chargers, this front office, and listen, it's not that I was skeptical of Ortiz. I was actually excited. Like, you come from this front office of the Ravens where, man, they are the team of get to close enough, but they haven't found a way to close, at least in obviously recent memory. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how the Ortiz and Harbaugh thing stays amicable for a while until Mr. I cannot be effusive enough in my praise for 10, Harbaugh, decides, Ortiz, listen, man, like this wasn't good enough. I played along. What are we going to do now? I mean, it's funny. We're seeing mock drafts where literally fans are putting for all 7 rounds. O-line, 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 O-line. Folks, don't forget the pass rush. But, I mean, like, you have to do something.
So the thing that scares the hell out of me on top of, our offensive line is who's going to be behind Herbert now. With Hampton's a dog, man. That guy, he is a unit. Missing him, that scares me equally as the offensive line. Now it's like, Now the defense is like, oh, there's nothing but Herbert back. We're playing 7-on-7. There's nothing but Herbert back there. Like
it's more like 7 on 11.
7-on-11. That's what I yeah. And it's like that scares the hell out of me. And I try to be optimistic, but it's like, damn. Oh yeah, we've been harping on the O-line how raggedy it is. Now we don't have Hampton behind 10. Shit, man. Like it don't look good. It don't look good.
I mean, here's the deal. It's up to Ortiz to figure some shit out. But you look at the backfield right now. It's Kamani Vidal and Hassan Haskins. And listen,
yeah,
I've sat here trying to defend the Hassan Haskins addition to the 53 and mainstay to the 53 because he does make sense until you're in a situation like they're in now. And what I mean by that is he's that utility pass pro guy, get you a hard yard, fall forward guy. Well, return kicks guys at a clip of really at an embarrassing rate. And then it's Kamani Vidal that you guys literally just kind of decided practice squad again.
Well, what we saw was the lack of confidence in Haskins, which blew my mind. We're in the red zone. Well, we're on like the 5. They gave Vidal the ball, and he didn't do jack squat.
Yeah.
Then we're on what, the 2, 5, maybe the 5. Haskins don't get the ball. We throw the ball. It's like people remember that. There's no confidence in who we have in the backfield, just like we have no confidence in the linemen. And it's like Herbert's in the shit sandwich, man. And the shit is both ends of the bread. You got the booty end of the bread on one end, on the other end, and you got Herbert in the middle of this, man.
It's booty ends on both ends. And listen, Jessica nailed it. And this is going to really set me up for my next question to you. Jessica literally says in the chat, going to have to get creative and make the best of what we have. Here's the deal. Can offensive coordinator Greg Roman find a way to, out of nowhere, be creative enough to put up with the lack of protection, to find a way? I mean, I don't know how you talk your wide receivers into saying, listen, run an extended route that takes you longer than 2.5 seconds. We'll get you the ball. It's not working. It's 2.16 seconds. It's an astronomically quick rate. It's something that we're literally we haven't seen for a minute. And if it sustains itself and it stays this way, Justin Herbert is literally going to fucking retire and say, nah, I'm cool. Madison's kind of nice.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, we saw, it's another thing that's frustrating is in those Commanders, we saw them literally change their whole damn game plan because what they were doing in the first half was not working. They saw their talented quarterback not be able to do a damn thing. Kingsbury was like, all right, that ain't working. Let's scrap it. Like Jessica said, they got creative. I don't think we have that in our OC, man. Like, we saw it. The imagination isn't there.
He's been doing this for so long. I don't know that he has it in him to expand. Now, in defense of Greg Roman, and we touched on it a little bit earlier, there was some quick game. Hampton hadn't caught a fucking screen all year, and I believe it was 2 or 3. Listen, it's a little too late. Like I said, defenses are literally waiting for you to do that just because you haven't yet, and you're running out of options. That's my concern with the Chargers moving forward. Opposing defensive coordinators looking at this offense saying, listen, we can literally attack from anywhere along that front 5 of the offensive line. Kyle, former offensive lineman, producer extraordinaire, you look at the situation that the Chargers have right now. It's too little too late to really find anybody that can help out. But is there a way to navigate this situation appropriately to keep their heads above water till they get Alt back?
Well, and that's the whole thing, guys. You could have Bill Walsh in there. I don't care what's going on. If they know up front that they can't respect you, they can beat you one-on-one. You guys have both mentioned opposing teams don't tend to blitz. It doesn't matter what trickery. Hey, let me pull this rabbit out my hat right quick. No. Okay. And I'd hate to, bring up an example, but because I'm close to it, I'm going to. Travis Etienne was rendered pointless. He was trade bait for the Jaguars, and now he's in the top 3 rushing in the damn league. Why? Because the new office in there did what the previous one promised and revamped the O-line. I think the dice were rolled at the GM level. There's no way we'll lose this many offensive linemen. One, there's an outside chance. 2, it's possible. There's no way we lose 3. What do you mean Joe Alt's out? Like, okay, there's an element of that there too. And I'm not trying to say that they should get a pass for it, but I think they took a calculated risk that's just blown up in their face.
Unlike myself, Buck, Jessica, Richie, AD, James, everybody that's been, Matt Lidioff, everybody that's been in the comments tonight, we're just not brand new to this shit. And watching the Chargerific things happen to the Chargers, I'm watching this game. The Chargers got up 10-0, and I didn't do some weird speech to my family like I did at 27-0. And we're not going to talk. No, not too much, Kyle. We won't talk about it too much, but that Chargers Jags game, I didn't shut off the TV and give my family a speech. But when they got up 10-0, I looked at my son, and then I looked at Miss Booga, and I said, listen, it shouldn't be 10-0. It feels weird. It kept feeling more odd as the game went on. The lack of the call on Johnston on that fumble. I mean, literally, it's so clearly helmet to helmet. The broadcast doesn't talk. I'm not a conspiracy guy, by the way. I'm not suggesting that. It was just there were so many different chargering moments. Sure. Like, come on, man. Like, you pay the offensive lineman the most out of anybody in the entire history of the league, Rashawn Slater, and then what was it, 7, 8, 9, 10 days later, out for the season. Like, that's chargering. It's also, Najee Harris has never been hurt before. He fucking blinds him fucking self. And then, by the way, let's blow out an Achilles. By the way, I've done 3. It is miserable. I'm not Najee Harris, but it's really hard to come back from that shit.
I also cover the Orlando Magic. I know what Grant Hill is, okay? I saw 3 dudes get hurt for the season, the top 3 players, and 2 of them were a right oblique injury. Gentlemen, I may not be a long-standing member of the Bolt bureaucracy, but I know everything you're talking about. What I'm trying to say is this. Creative play calling doesn't fix this. It's just consistency and confidence and continuing that short game and using intelligence and maybe a little bit of outside run and boot. Although I don't know if you boot Herbert at this point, he'll just get creamed again. That's a dangerous thing too. So maybe I'm thinking too much about creativity, but quick plays are the way to go. Keep somebody honest and then let Ladd on a random one where you're brave enough or whoever it is, beat them over the top. That's really your options, is to have guys win their one-on-ones on the outside quickly. And of course, like you mentioned, other defenses are looking forward to at this point. So
go ahead.
How creative can you get?
No, I agree with what I don't see, and maybe this is a time thing. We saw the Commanders, they throw that 50-yard bomb. And it's like, we have the best trio of wide receivers in the league, and I put that on against the best 3. Ooh. We do, like, it's like I want our squad to have that opportunity. It's just we don't. Get 50-50 balls. I watched the game last night, pass interference. It's like we're always on the other side of that. We can't get those opportunities, and it's all stemmed from the O-line. And, I want to put confidence in what we have. I just haven't seen it yet. And I just go back to the leaders on the team. Those guys got to fire them up. They got to hold them accountable. Hey, we're all getting paychecks here. You wanted to
hold on. Let me do this. Speaking of confidence and the lack thereof, I want to ask you about your confidence regarding the penalty situation, as Jessica brings it up in the chat. I mean, the penalties spill over into more than just the plays and yardage given up. Yep. It aids itself into a lack of confidence. It reminds you that, hey, maybe we are the old Chargers. These guys have never been in it. God, they've got to start to feel like they're in it. The lack of discipline from a Harbaugh coach team fuck Joe Ortiz being the general manager. Buck, are you surprised, or is this something that when you look at it, this is the exception to the rule and they can overcome it? But I mean, this is a Harbaugh team just creating all these penalties. Maybe they did this before, or he's had this be a part of something that happened at past stops, but I don't think so. They're supposed to be disciplined. How surprised are you?
I'm very surprised, but then I also have to say, look at who the penalties are going against. Look at those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't leave that part out of it. It's the same,
no, it is on Ortiz.
It's the same fucking dudes every time. It's the same dude. Like, look, you brought up Disley. You brought up all over the offense.
Austin Ridiculous, you fucker. I'm so pissed you said that.
Yes.
I wanted that one.
And you know, lining up where you're not supposed to line up, the holding because you've gotten out of position and you're beat. You know, we saw what our team was those first 2 to 3 weeks. So I have to say it's not a whole Harbaugh thing. We got to look at the dudes that we're plugging in, and we just got to get them up to speed.
Well, here we are. We're getting one of our biggest fans frustrated all over again in Jessica Thompson. And here's the deal. It's because there's everything to be frustrated about right now. Listen, there are no fans like Jessica. She's been to, and Jessica, again, I'm so sorry for not knowing the exact count, 50 plus consecutive games home and away. And when we look at this team and we look at the building of this team, why is it that it feels like the only people who didn't know that the interior offensive line needs to be addressed were the general manager and the head coach?
Yeah.
Branson Taylor, former Missouri tackle, cool. In the 6th round, interesting. What are we fucking doing? And damn, I dropped a we, and y'all know I try not to do that shit, but that was it. It was the lad thing, the jokes that my son and I had going back and forth. Oh, McConkey, you're lad. And then I felt dirty and it was awkward because my son and everything. But like, it was a Jackson Powers Johnson draft. It was an opportunity to get interior linemen. Hunter Norzad, boy, it'd be nice to have a center. And then here we are, and we're gonna wrap up the offensive side and the offensive woes with this. Bradley Bozeman, until further notice. Buck D, man, he is the starting center of the Los Angeles Chargers. Do they have a chance to be successful at all with a guy whom it's literally on NFL films now? Change the protection to slide left. You knew it was coming. And Herbert literally says no, and Bozeman's like, we snapping it. It's on.
Yeah.
Herbert sacked immediately.
That's the type of things that's going to continue to rack up the L's. We got to rein that in. We have to. Look, we have who we have. We got who we got. Doesn't sound grammatically right or whatever, but that's just what it is. And if we continue doing that, it's going to be a stack of L's for the rest of the season. That's just what it is. That's exactly what it is.
You look at a team like Miami, and it feels like the Giants game to me. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. They're playing the Dolphins. They're a complete fucking shit show. It's hard to say what to expect from the Dolphins moving forward, but I would also believe that it's fair to say that it's hard to expect to figure out what to expect from the Chargers moving forward. This game against the Dolphins, I'm not talking about trap game. You're 3-2 now. You started off 3-0. It's not about a hot streak. It's about you're in a shit streak. They obviously have to win this game, but how confident are you in their ability to do so moving forward?
Oh, man, I am not confident at all, but this is the exact game that the Chargers need right now because it's like we're playing a shitty team. We can show, hey, we're not as shitty as them, or we can show we're shittier than them. And I watched Miami. I watched Miami play, and I'm confident. But
Man, you don't do that. You were confident about the Giants and the Commanders, if I saw it correctly.
I'm gonna, as long as 10 is back there, I always say that. I'm confident. Look,
that's awesome.
He's better than that other guy that Miami has. He's better than that guy. And
there's still some of them Dolphins fans who don't get that, and I'm sure you think that shit's adorable.
But I will say this. Ooh, their defense scares the hell out of me because one thing they do is rush the damn passer. And fuck, man, that's what I'm not confident in. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see who's the shittier team. Who's the shit? Yeah, bring back Nick.
Yeah. Hey, he doesn't have to. Let's do the coach player thing. Fuck it, it's 2025, Jessica. I love it. Nick Hardwick, by the way. Let me do this. I love that she gives it. Let's segue into something fun. Let's segue into a really good feel-good moment. Back in the day when I was covering the Chargers, when it was boltblitz.com, I had an opportunity to bring somebody with me to Chargers Family Day. And there's a gal named Katie Duran, and she happened to be a cancer survivor who was really struggling. And I happened to reach out to her. I was like, listen, I get to bring whoever I want to this. I'd love it if you would like to attend. We went there. Nick was cool as shit to me. I'm telling you right now, he's awesome. And then I told him, I was like, hey, listen, this is Katie Duran. She's over here with me. If you could hang out with her and talk to her for just like a couple minutes, she's a cancer survivor, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get to talk to Nick the rest of the day. And he spent the whole time talking football with her. Like they talked football, a cool situation. It was a really good thing. Let me tell you right now, Jessica, if there's anybody I could bring back to the offensive line, it would definitely be Hardwick. He's missed. The fact that he's one of the offensive line coaches or a part of the organization at any level, it warms my heart. That being said, he can replace Devlin right the fuck now, if we're being honest. We're not going to beat a dead horse, and it's not a dead horse regarding this particular show. But in the chat, and if you followed any of us on socials, we haven't been fans of the Mike Devlin hire since the beginning. Clearly, we're obviously not now. The running game and the inability to get these guys ready, it's very. I know everybody's out, but you have to be capable of coaching these guys up and not just being like, okay, we're giving our best. Yeah. It's not how the NFL works, Buck. This is a business. You look at the business that is the Chargers. Other than them trying to add to the Odafe Owe trade, love it. Maybe we didn't give enough credit. I have some shorts coming tomorrow regarding that and a couple of other things on Boat Blitz Uncut shorts tomorrow afternoon and morning. But what do the Chargers need to do other than hope, pray, and beg somebody, let's go of an offensive lineman that they could use that would actually help them do something moving forward to protect Den?
Oh man, it's hard because, like you said, no one. We're looking at the teams that they know their season's damn near over, and we're like plucking at the carcasses already. It's like, but we're
hey, real quick, Buck is referring to it in the group chat. I'm constantly sharing like the standings of the worst teams. Like, hey, keep an eye on these teams, know the rosters. That way, when we do this shit, when we do these shows, we can say, you know what, these cats are 0-5, 1-4. Maybe we can purge somebody from there. I have a weird feeling that as the NFL progresses the way that it has via free agency and just the trends of the draft, the trade market is going to kind of flip on its ear in comparison to what it's always been. I do believe, maybe not this year, but I do believe that within the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to see the trade market be more active. Yep. And it'd be nice to see if the Chargers could kind of kickstart that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's big time. I agree. But as I say, with plucking on the carcasses, nobody's still coming off those big boys. Nobody's coming off of them because that's how important they are. The only thing I'll say is this. The only solace that I have is that we are going to play a team whose house is burning the fuck down. And I'm saying this for selfish reasons because I'm going to the Colts game. We got to have a win before that to show some kind of confidence. Like, this has to be the game to stop the bleeding for a little bit. Got to be.
I don't know how the current state of the fandom and in-house and the coaching staff and the players handles the Chargers going 3-0 and then following it up with 0-3. When you say that Dolphins' house is on fire, they don't have enough water to put it out. It's real ugly. It's real bad. That being said, I don't believe in this situation. I don't believe in a trap game because of the situation that the Chargers are facing injury-wise, especially up front. Listen, I have my concerns. Kyle, you ready to jump in, man? Thoughts on Chargers Dolphins next week? Or
I'm with it too. That if you're going to find a place to raise your confidence, this is it. I'm looking for Derwin James to get involved in this game, right? Because at day's end, without Tyreek, we've seen how limited this offense has become, and it's not like the Dolphins have a tradition of bad protection. Let's throw that in there. Ever since I was writing for them with the Dolphins Wire back in the tanking for 2 a year and before, right? Shouts to my former editor, Antoine Staley, right? So I think
you the man.
Yeah, I got to go with Buck on this one. If there's a game I was going to be competent for, is this one. And I'll quickly throw out the schedule, right? Buck said something earlier about 2-2. I'll tell you this, the scariest thing in the next 4 games, because you have you have Dolphins, Colts, Vikings, Titans. 2, even in your situation, is feeling very pliable to keep things surviving. And by the way, gentlemen, raise your hand if you cover a team that's beaten the Chiefs.
Hey!
Oh, sorry, I got to do both of them. But anyways, the punchline.
That was so good. You could have warned me, but I'm glad you didn't.
If I warned you, it wouldn't be as fun.
No, it wouldn't be as genuine. No, listen.
2-2, and that thing is very reasonable, Buck. So stick with that there, Bolt fam.
Buck, I don't know what you have going on tomorrow night, but I already pointed this out in the group chat, and if you have a minute, we're gonna go slide over to the Duval Dive tomorrow night, and just give a little shout out and a thank you to the Jags and their fans, and of course our favorite Jags show for taking belt to ass when it really didn't seem like it was possible. It was cool to see them not give up. I really hope the Chargers and the current regime, the coaching staff included, and the players were paying attention to that, because watching what Lawrence did on that touchdown run, the slip, the fall down, the face plant, and then find a way to get in there. It was very Charger-esque, was it not, Buck?
I gotta say this. The night or the day that I see one of our defensive players do what Chris Jones did on that play, I'm done. Go back and watch him. He was like, all right. I don't know what he was doing. It's like if you're playing Madden and your battery on your controller and the dude's just standing there.
And he just chills.
He just froze. He didn't do anything. And I'm like, at least we don't have that going on our team.
I saw the worst stat today, and it was from, I know you guys have seen the NFL Muse accounts, Chargers Muse, Bengals Muse, whatever. Chris Jones has 4 tackles this year. Okay? He has 4 tackles this year. Jamar Chase has 5. It's like, no, horrible for the Bengals that he's got to be making tackles. But that being said, congratulations on the speed and the will to get that shit done.
I'm not going to laugh because that means Browning is ass, and that's going to be our team.
That's
going to be our team if we don't protect Herbert.
Don't do it to me. Don't do it to me, because here's the deal. We joke all the time. And it's funny because regardless of how much everybody's tried to love on Chargers backups, I don't remember a time where I was like, starter goes down, they'll be fine. I don't remember one of those. Don't give me clipboard Jesus. Don't you dare give me Gail Gilbert because he played in the Super Bowl. Stan's hand, leg, and fucking foot tried to fall off. And Gail came in, and it was kind of in a losing effort anyway. It was a lost cause. The Chargers, for whatever reason, are not allowed to have a solid starter and a solid backup unless it comes to the fact that Rod Taylor was a solid backup And then we had to puncture his fucking lung so that Herbert could get in there and be the starter and begin the insurmountable reign of the NFL that he started. Kyle, I know you're ready to jump in.
No, I'm not. I'm laughing at all of it, dude. I got nothing else to add to all that awesome except but
Hold on. Lidioff just busted me out. Billy Volek, he wasn't just okay. He won a playoff game that Herbert, oh no. Sorry, Phil. Forgive me, please, my heavenly Father. He won a game that Phil couldn't finish, and it was a phenomenal game. We all know the sneak. We know the interception by Eric Weddle at the goal line where it just plastered to him. Thank you for pointing out that Volek was not just okay. He was actually pretty solid.
No, hey, listen, Billy Volek won me a fantasy championship as a Titan. He and Drew Bennett going off of that 230-something yard game. I'm all good with Billy Volek here.
Billy Volek, Drew Bennett mentioned on Bolt Blitz Uncut. Listen, we've been yakking for about 70 minutes and plus. We've had some fun. The Chargers defense looks horrible. The offensive line looks worse. Not a lot of hopes regarding the running back position. Not a lot of positive things to say moving forward. That being said, Harbaugh, Ortiz, y'all wear the big boy pants for a reason. Buck, how do you expect this team to respond moving forward? And then when you're done, please remind everybody where they can find you on all your social media accounts and your next event. And I need to bring this up live. Yeah. Saw the little pic of you and comedian DL Hughley. Talk a little bit about what's going on next. And if you don't mind, share a little bit about that experience for the people who think they're funny like me.
Well, all right. So what I expect going forward is it's not even the X's and O's. I said it earlier. We got to show some heart. Our team has to show heart. And we have the perfect carcass in front of us called the Miami Dolphins. We should be able to do this with who we have moving forward. That's what I expect. Just show some heart. Damn, we scored 0 points after halftime. Like, that's unacceptable.
After 4 minutes to go in the first quarter, dude, it was 10-0, and that was a wrap. They said, no, we're done. No more scoring. Why should we? Don't even think about it because, listen, you look at the lack of execution, and listen, I understand who was on the offensive line, but whatever. And they did try to quote unquote resort to the quick game in the screen game. It's too late. Everybody's now waiting. They're literally saying these defensive coordinators are sitting there salivating, going, well, they haven't done it yet. They have to now. They have to stay in games. They're not 3-0 anymore. They're 3-2. The 3-0 division record helps a lot. Buck. It's
about where we haven't seen any pride in the players that we have since the 3-0. We got to see that, man. Like we can talk the X's and O's and the hurts and the injuries and all that. It's got to be about pride. It's got to be about heart. And we have not seen that in the last few weeks. Hopefully we can see that with Miami. You guys can find me, Buck_Dangerous, anywhere. Or if you still are on Facebook, Robert Gibson with GIPSON. Now, as far as DL Hughley, that man is a fucking genius. I've worked
absolute legend, and you're just chilling. By the way, I felt the whole smile. All of it.
Yeah, so I've worked with him. Actually, you know what's so crazy? I worked with him at the YouTube in SoFi. I worked with him there, and they came into town, and he was like, "Oh, I know you're gonna come see me," and I was like, "Yeah." I wasn't planning on it, so it was good to see him.
Plans change when you hear shit like that, though, don't they?
Yeah. So it was good to see him, and I will be at the Comedy Store the weekend that we play the Colts. I'll be there Friday. I know for sure I'm there Friday night. I'm not for sure Saturday. And then I'll be at the game when we play the Colts. So that's what I have coming up. You guys go check me out on all social media platforms, or you can go to my website, robertbuckdgibson.com.
Listen, if you haven't checked out his stand-up and his comedy, it's hilarious. If you're a little weak in the knees and you're not able to take a little funny shit, then you shouldn't be tuning into this show for sure. You definitely don't want what Buck's telling. Buck's coming with it, and he's very honest, and it's one of the things that I appreciate the most about him, and it's why I've been trying to be sneaky and get him to be a co-host for the show. Kyle, listen, I know you're the outside looking in guy, and we're going to get that segment, rolling with you soon enough. You look at this Chargers team. Close this show out on your behalf regarding what they need to do moving forward after Buck and I have just kind of rattled off everything we have to say.
You know, the beauty of calling myself the student of the game is I don't actually have to act like I know everything. I can actually acknowledge other people making good takes, which you'd be surprised how little I find that in any of the sports I cover, but that's a separate conversation. The punchline is this, regardless of the comedy comes with intellect. Buck D with his intellect came in with that 2-and-2 take, and hopefully guys can get right after that. The thing I immediately did doing the producer thing was look up that schedule and just see how viable it was. That's why I showed that earlier here on the show for those that missed it. Seeing that Dolphins game, seeing that Titans game, noticing a floundering Vikings group in there. It's weird to say we're in a world that Indiana Jones has the best chance to win. No, I don't mean in 80s cinema. I mean in 2025 football. What the bleep is going on here? Oh, wait, this is your show, Booga. What the fuck is going on here?
Yes, say this. Drop the F-bomb. Damn, we really got to make sure that we adhere to the F-bombs. It's a weird NFL season overall, if we're being honest. What Kyle's talking about, or at least alluding to some degree, is Daniel Jones is out here literally looking like Indiana Jones, escaping all the depths of death in these horrific and heroic ways, finding a way to make it happen. It's a very interesting storyline. I can't pay too much attention to it because fuck the Colts, but I would wish and hope that when we look forward, when this season is over, that Ortiz has something up his sleeve to figure out. Listen, I really do, and I mean this. I love the Odafe trade. That's a big deal.
Big one.
Everybody knows I've never been a fan of Gilman. I'm sorry. Appreciate you, Notre Dame. Sorry, Telesco. I didn't like that one. Thanks for dislocating my wrist at the St. Louis Rams victory, where Marcus Gilchrist intercepted Sean Hill, but that's none of y'all's business. This is finally a team where I really was starting to buy in, and I'm looking at Ortiz and I'm just going, God damn it, here we are again. I try not to do that, but everybody else in Chargerland is saying that. The Bolt fam, they're concerned. They're all pointing fingers, and they're just trying to figure out one account to kind of grab onto and figure out who is going to lead us and figure out where we're going and what's actually going to happen with this season. Nobody knows. But if anybody is paying attention, Harbaugh gets more and more frustrated by the word.
Mm-hmm.
Not just with Daniel Popper, which, hey, throw that man his flowers. He kept pushing the Bozeman thing.
Yep.
Didn't give up on it. It was uncomfortable for me because I've never been that kind of a journalist or anybody or whatever, a pseudo-journalist that really pressed the hard questions. I just found them out in the right way. Normally got people drunk, but whatever.
As somebody who's been in that setting with Harbaugh, that's not an easy thing to do, by the way.
He went right at him, and it was kind of interesting to me because at the end it felt as though Harbaugh kind of conceded. Like he kind of just said, when it's a guy who plays better than, or when we think we can find a guy who's going to play better than Bozeman, it was almost saying, and I don't know if anybody saw this out of it the way that I did, but it was more like a, what the fuck, Ortiz?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't get it that way, maybe I'm wrong and maybe I'm reading too much into it. But Harbaugh's a very proud man. He comes from a very prestigious coaching family and background and pedigree. After an 11-win season last year, I'm sure that the 3-0 start didn't get to his head because he knows what he has on his hands.
Right.
You always know. And then you listen, and I love that people are using the, you can't plan on both Slater and Alt going down good, but you planned on Zion and Bozeman. And then not having the reliability of a healthy Becton that you can count on. It wasn't enough. O-line centric building. Competitors welcome. listen, man, we ran out of that time, so you got to figure it out now, Ortiz. To close out the show, confidence in Ortiz figuring this out, Buck.
Hell, what else do I have?
You got to sit on something.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's the uncertainty that bothers the hell out of me. But
it's too late, Buck. They had the chance to address the interior offensive line in the last 2 drafts. They brought in a tackle from Missouri in the 6th round who they're going to, they've converted to try to make him. By the way, they've actually tried him at tackle more than they did guard. But anyway, you watch this interior offensive line, it doesn't provide a lot of confidence when it comes to what Joe Ortiz can get done. Was it truly that he was just sponging off of Ozzie Newsome, Eric DaCosta in Baltimore? Or am I just a prick? It can be both.
Is it so bad if it's Ozzie Newsome? That's Hall of Fame level.
That's what I mean. Did that get him the job? So here we are, and it's Bradley Bozeman and him looking at Daniel Popper straight in the face saying, well, we were 11-5, Pop. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, but Bozeman and Zion sucked. They couldn't. They should have been better than that. They should have been better than that. Listen, and then you show up to fucking Houston, and my daughter and her friends don't watch football, guys. They were there to watch the Houston game. It feels like everything just comes right in his face. Everybody's right up the middle. Yeah, that's because it's true. Sorry that you've never watched football. I'm sorry that you know more. Listen, here we are. We're sitting here as Chargers fans, and I'm ranting, and I can't even end the show again because we skipped the last show because I was so angry that I didn't have anything positive to say, and I'm trying to be a better person when it comes to representing any part of the Bolt community, the Bolt fam, and all that happy shit. We're going to sign off right now. We've got some exciting things coming up. Listen, we have not done the giveaway yet. Here's why. Yeah, that's right. Just a couple people. I'm not going to give any of these shits to the fucking writers, the contributors, or the people in the group chat. We're still figuring it out. We're not really advertising. We're going to get that going. I cannot squander the opportunity that I have with Robert Gibson. And listen, Kyle works harder than anybody on this show. And here we are. Here we are just kind of fucking around, drinking beers and having a damn good time. We're not going to be like any other show, but I promise you that will matter to you guys because we got some really special shit planned. Buck told you where to find him. You can find me on X, Twitter, at Booga Peters. Same thing with Instagram. If you end up finding yourself on the Old People app, I am Dave Peters. Kyle, tell people where they can find you, especially on X, because I always fuck up your handle.
Honor, joy, and privilege, gentlemen, to do the thing as the student of the game. Find me, the SOTG, on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. My work with Fans First Sports Network covering the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Orlando Magic, as well as here on the Bolt Blitz Uncut. And then where I'm about to jump immediately after this to record the Night Shift podcast for the Black and Gold Banneret covering UCF football and upcoming basketball as well. An honor, joy, and privilege. Until next time, everyone, class dismissed.
Oh, well done. That was hot.
I've been doing this a few times. It's okay.